Thank you so very much for tuning in and welcome back to Hawkeye's House of Horrors. And today I'm going to bring forward to you or do a little review here for the sequel to The Shining called Doctor Sleep, based on the novel written by Stephen King. Now, I hadn't seen this film until about a couple of months ago, maybe no longer than that. I went out, I bought it, Doctor Sleep, um, because I couldn't find it on any of the streaming services. I don't have Netflix. Uh, so I think I got it at a secondhand store. I think I could be wrong. Doesn't matter. It wasn't that expensive, which is awesome. But I went out and I bought it, watched it. I really liked it. About a week ago, I knew my wife wanted to see it. We have seen The Shining on the big screen a couple of times. Thank you very much, dear, for making that happen for me. But she enjoyed The Shining. She really likes it. She's also a big Ewan McGregor fan who is in this film, and he does a great job in this film. And she loved it, and I liked it even more the second time. So this one's going to get a big thumbs up from me. And I'm going to go as far as saying, just off the top of my mind, I don't know, maybe there's some others that would rival it or could be put in the same category. But I think this could be the best Stephen King sequel to a film of his. So it's no surprise that it's based on a novel written by him. Now, there's some really good ideas in the film, and I have read the book. It's going back maybe 3 or 4 years ago, but I'm thinking that some of these ideas were also in the novel as well. So there's some really good ideas going forward, and none of them that ruin the film or anything like that. Uh, from the perspective of what came from the novel by Stephen King. So here we go. Now, it was written and directed by Mike Flanagan, who's also done other Stephen King works as well, including Gerald's Game, which I haven't seen. One of his films I did see was Hush. I saw that, oh dear, it's going back a while now, 7 or 8 years ago. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the main character in that story. So I have seen not much of his other works, but I had seen that and I liked it. So that was a step in the right direction for me. Um, Now, I got to say, this is a really well made film. Now, uh, so taking a look back at The Shining, the Overlook Hotel absolutely plays a big part in this film. And I had read supposedly he had blueprints or of the what the Overlook Hotel looked like from the estate of Stanley Kubrick, I believe. So he knew exactly how to build or rebuild the Overlook Hotel. And when you're watching it, it's like, yeah, okay, it kind of feels like the same set. It's filmed in a different way. Like it hard to maybe explain to some people. It's filmed in a different way, different look to the film itself, but yeah, you do get the feeling that hey, we're on the same set here, and that's amazing. That's really good. Now, this had its world premiere at the Regency Village Theater in LA on October the 21st, 2019. Now, the release, I believe, in North America for some reason happened after Halloween, I think, which is a bit of a head scratcher, sort of. Now, as I see, I couldn't get an exact number. It's the budget to the film was somewhere in the ballpark of 45 to 55 million, big budget. And then it had a box office return of 72.3 million schmaggers back in 2019, 2020. So it's not that long ago. This is May of 2024. So it's not that long ago. The numbers won't change that drastically, I don't think, within such a short frame of time. Um, but the box office return was certainly not what they were expecting. Warner Brothers, who distributed this film, um, they had done Stephen King's It, and the returns on it were enormous. So this Doctor Sleep got greenlit. I think it was like we're gonna go like it was a big plan going forward. Okay, we're gonna make another Stephen King film. This is it. The returns weren't brutal. It wasn't, in my opinion, a bomb at the box office, but I think they were expecting double what they got, perhaps. Um, Now, there are some things that may hurt the film. In my mind, number one, it is a sequel to a film that is 40 years old. That may be a problem, as well as I I I don't know if this is as big of a deal, but there is a long runtime. It is 2.5 hours. It doesn't go on too long for me. It's boom, just like the original. It's like, okay, good. You ended at the right time. Don't keep hanging around any longer than that. So those are a couple of things that may have hurt the returns a little. I had also read people that went to see the film. It wasn't the younger audience going to see it, but maybe that's not a surprise. I'm not 20 years old anymore, sadly, so I don't know. do does that generation run out to the movie theater like other generations to watch films, or do they just wait to stream it or get it in some other means to watch the film and don't run out to the box office? I think that's another problem as well. But that's to theaters in general, unfortunately. Now, the film was shot in between September and December of 2018. And in comparison to The Shining, that's a quick shoot. I think The Shining literally took, uh, I'm thinking it took like a year or something to shoot. Very long time, but that was Stanley Kubrick. Um, Now, I'm going to jump real concise, uh, get to the story and then the characters and the acting here as well. Um, but I'm only going to talk about maybe really get into three characters, really. Um, they are the three main characters. They really drive this film. Now, the story is about Danny Torrance. Now, I had heard King was kind of wrote the Doctor Sleep because I think he had been asked so many times, "Hey, what's happening with Danny? What's going on with Danny?" So he figured he would write a story about Danny Torrance in the modern times. And Danny Torrance is now all grown up. He's not a 5-year-old boy anymore, and he has taken the same steps of his father, and he is a full blown alcoholic. Um, Now, in turn, he dries up. He looks out, gets some help from people. He moves to, I think it's Colorado, meets some people there, gets him into AA. He dries up. He no longer is drinking. Now, in doing that, what it does is it fine tunes the Shining form. The Shining is back. Um, like Jack Torrance, in my opinion, the whole reason for drinking was to dull the shine, to not make it seem as extreme as it is, to get rid of the shine, is to, well, hit the bottle. Um, but The Shining is back, and now he's in contact with a girl named Abra. She's really powerful with the shine. She might be like, I think she's like 14. Um, and she's always known she's had the shine. She's always been very powerful with the gift. But her and Danny are in contact, and she's able to tell, or more or less together, they um, have found out that is a group of people led by a woman named Rosie who are going around killing people who have the shine. And then they take the shine and use it as food for themselves, which I really like this idea of extending their life. It's their food, it's what makes them survive. They aren't immortal because of it, but they're able to live extremely long lives due to being able to do this. Now, the three people, there's Danny, played by Ewan McGregor. I think he does a great job in this. He's really good. The acting all around, I think, is top notch. No complaints about any of the acting in the film at all. But McGregor does a really good job. Um, Abra is played by Kylie Curran. She does a really good job. She's a newcomer to me. I'd never seen her in anything else, but she does a really good job, and she's a good kid actor, and she's not annoying as well. Big plus to me. And then finally, Rosie is played by Rebecca Ferguson, who I must say maybe she puts in the best performance in the film. Not downplaying or putting down anybody else's performances, but she may have well, it's always the villain, right? But she may have the toughest job in portraying the character, perhaps, but she does a really good job. And what I like about her character, or the shining with her character, is she does think, and she is powerful, but she thinks she's more powerful than she really is. She comes across Danny and Abra in the Overlook Hotel and the Shine, people who know how to use the gift um, beyond simple tricks, or knowing what pitch is coming so that I can hit a home run, stuff like that. Um, and It's very good. And I remember that in the novel, it's sort of like, ooh, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't be messing with these people, or with things you don't really understand. So I really like that about her character. So in the end, at the end of the film, and it's slightly different than the novel, there is a showdown at the Overlook Hotel. Danny and Abra lead her to the Overlook Hotel. And what I like too is she doesn't know what the Overlook Hotel is. Um, Now, in the original novel, To the Shining, Jack Torrance burned the Overlook Hotel down. So there is no hotel there in the novel, but they returned to the grounds. Personally, I really much prefer that the hotel is there. Now, what Flanagan has done, and kudos to him for, well, some people will probably say he did a great job with that, but kudos for him for trying. Um, it doesn't, in the end, it doesn't ruin the film for me because personally, I think this is a great film. If you like The Shining, uh, even like The Shining, you should see Doctor Sleep. It's a great sequel. I think it just continues on that story and goes down some paths I wasn't expecting as a reader first and as a viewer. Now, um, what Flanagan has tried to do because of the differences between the original novel and the original film, and King came out with the novel Doctor Sleep as a sequel to the novel. So, Doctor Sleep, Flanagan is trying to create a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining as well as Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, trying to blend everything together. Now, sometimes that works, and in my opinion, sometimes that can be problematic. As I said, it doesn't really ruin the film, but there are problems I had with the film, and I'm going to share them with you in doing these things. Now, it's really within the characters of the film um, that were in the original that are returning, that are dead, that I had a problem with. Or, for example, I'll start with Dick Halloran. In the original novel, he never died. So in Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, he is alive and teaching Danny more things about The Shining, teaching him, and this I really enjoy, and it's extremely important to the story in creating these boxes in his mind so that he can put ghosts or whatever he wants really into these boxes in his mind and lock them away, and they are shut tight and never can open. I really like that. But in the film Doctor Sleep, Dick Halloran is now a ghost who's with Danny when he's like a boy, like or not long after the original film. Now, to me, in my opinion, this is maybe just me, but it seems very Star Warsy to me. Like I'm expecting a green glow around him. Um, and when he comes back is somewhat random. And why is it? And where is he coming from? And is Dick maybe more like a guardian angel to Danny? But we're not really none like if that's an answer, that door is never really open that I can see. I've only seen the movie twice. I never didn't really go in there looking for that, but that door to me doesn't seem to be opened at all. So in the end, there is a question, and it goes to me beautifully with the original film. Where does Dick come from? Where does his ghost come from? In the original film and book, like it was in the Overlook Hotel. So it was the Overlook Hotel that was bringing these images to you or these ghosts to you. But this has nothing to do with the Overlook Hotel, I guess. And in saying so, there's no Dick Halloran in the Overlook Hotel either. So how is that possible? Because I mean, all of the ghosts in the Overlook Hotel, they're not all evil. Like the little girls, they were innocent. They were murdered, but they were put there by the Overlook Hotel to scare Danny. Now, in saying that, maybe it's best there isn't a ghost of Dick Halloran because I'm not sure how you could go about that. Um, because really, it wouldn't be Dick Halloran. It would be the hotel. But I think personally, why would the hotel not use that against Danny? Dick Halloran, here you go, deal with this. As well as Jack Torrance. He returns in this film and he is used. He's in the Overlook Hotel. Now, it's very Stephen King, in my opinion, how it's used. And I don't remember, I feel bad, I don't remember if this is exactly in the novel like this. But he returns, but now he's Lloyd the bartender, trying to push Danny to drink, uh, to just, you know, hit the Jack Daniels. Um, so that's good, but it isn't effective in the end. Um, like Danny's able to fight that off. He doesn't want to drink. He's able to fight off Jack Torrance. Um, now, there's no Jack Torrance returned in any other way from the hotel. As in, there's no Jack chasing Danny again with the axe, or chasing Abra, or chasing Rosie with the axe. I think that would have been really cool. It's difficult because Jack Nicholson wasn't in the film, although I did read that they asked Nicholson if he would like to be in the film. Um, Unfortunately, and I have nothing against him for doing this because he's retired. He decided he did not want to be in the sequel, and all the props to you, Jack. You're retired. That's excellent. I love that you were in The Shining. So I don't know if he was in the film. They didn't have the technology, I don't think, back then. I think to like digitally enhance his face and everything, so it would look like Jack Torrance from 40 years ago. But I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I think now what this film does as well, a little bit. It's not it's not a Jack Torrance redemption or anything like that, but it makes, in my opinion, he comes across a little bit more human in this. Um, a little bit more. It was the drink, it was the hotel, stuff like that. And in my opinion, I think he was a monster before he even set foot in the Overlook Hotel. That was just more or less the icing on the cake for what was to happen after that. Now, this happened in a few different scenes as well, where Danny and Abra are connecting to each other or able to talk to each other, even though they're not in the same place. And that absolutely can happen when you have the shine. Now, where in the original Stanley Kubrick film, this didn't happen, but in here, Flanagan has decided, and once again, I forget if this was in the novel, but has decided to put Abra in those scenes to be more of a visual, something more visual to say that there's a connection, perhaps. Um, and it may connect more to some viewers as well. It absolutely doesn't ruin the film in any way, but it may make the film a little less weird, perhaps, or maybe to other viewers a little more weird because they might say, "Wait, is she there? Is she not there? No, she's not there." Now, one thing I really enjoyed too was when Rosie gets inside Abra's mind, and she's going through these file folders looking through her mind, only to find out that Abra is actually within her mind and going through her file folders or going through her mind looking for things. I really thought that was cool, and I do remember that from the novel. Um, that idea, I really like that idea. Now, the music was done by the Newton brothers, who are Andy Grush and Taylor Stewart. They had done music to other Flanagan films as well, like Gerald's Game and Hush. It's very good music. It's very reminiscent of The Shining. And personally, I love the music from The Shining. It's very original, very gothic, very spooky. And the music to this film follows suit with that and uses the same themes as the original. Now, a little bit, they continue to use like the thumping of the heartbeat, which was in the original film, which was in a scene I remember when Jack Torrance goes into room 237. Now, in this film, it's used a lot, almost too much, but it's there, and it's good, it's effective, but personally, I think it's a little maybe overused. Now, the title, "The Doctor Sleep," so far, there's no reason why it would be called that. Like, why the heck is it called Doctor Sleep? And this idea I really like as well, and absolutely is from the novel. Danny, when he's dried out, no longer on the bottle, he starts helping people like that are dying. He gets them into a better frame of mind, more positive, get them away from fear, which is extremely important because this gang that's running around killing people with a shine, using that for food, they love it when they're afraid. The shine becomes even better, more powerful, um, much tastier to them. So it's great that Danny is helping these older people pass away with a good heart and like away from fear and returning to their roots and what makes them happy. I really like that idea. And while he's doing this job, he gets the nickname from one of these men passing away, calls him Doctor Sleep, um, because Danny tells him it's just like going to sleep. That's all that this is. Now I'm glad Flanagan did stay away from a lot of jump scares. And now, of course, there's still some in there. I mean, you can't. It's not totally free of that. But my oh my, is there a lot less than a lot of other modern horror films? And a good example is It. I really enjoyed it, but man, the jump scares were ugh, too much. I'm not against jump scares, but if that's your only way of scaring people, ugh, I need more than that. And in this film, it stays away from the jump scares, just like the original film, and of course, just like the books as well by Stephen King. Now, this film proves, and I'm just going to have to be okay with it, and it is. Tony is really just Danny growing up. Tony doesn't play a part in this film at all. He's talked about a couple of times, maybe, and that's it. So now in this film, as I said, Jack Torrance comes back, not played by Jack Nicholson, but it is actually played by Henry Thomas, who was in E.T. And it blew me away because I didn't look like him, but that's played by Henry Thomas, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, one thing as well with the Overlook, and uh, I base this all upon how long you're in the Overlook Hotel, really. But I put it to that mostly anyway. Um, I really don't find like the Overlook Hotel really is a character like it was in the original film. Now, in the original film, you're in the Overlook Hotel for most of the film. This one, you're in the Overlook Hotel for the third act, for just like maybe the last half an hour or 40 minutes. So there's a lot less time spent within the hotel. As well with the final fight between Danny and Rosie, everything's going great in this film um, until he swings the axe and it hits her in the shoulder. I think it was her right shoulder, and she reacts like as if it was a flea. Um, okay, I thought that was really unrealistic, and I don't know why we had to go there. But anyways, it does recover. The fight does recover as Danny opens the boxes in his mind, uh, and then they attack Rosie. And I really like that ending a lot. Perhaps, just in my opinion, them like acting as she did and taking um, her spirit and like using it as food. It's the fear, the ghosts want you to be afraid of them, that whole thing. It was a little unneeded, a little bit to me, but perhaps to other viewers, it's right up their alley. But I really did like that ending. And then obviously these ghosts are free, so then we see Abra shutting her own boxes in her mind for these ghosts that are returning in her life. So it recovers. But anyways, I really enjoyed this film. It's great. I apologize. I didn't get into any like deep hidden meanings or anything like that. Whatever. Um, I generally try and do like a surface look on films. Um, but from what I can tell, I don't know. I don't think it goes to the same depths as The Shining. But in saying that, it's a great sequel that needs to be seen if you enjoy The Shining at all. So, anyways, that was fun bringing that to you. What I'm planning on doing, I was just thinking that this week, because I'm going to be jumping into another year here soon, 1981, and do the science fiction and horror of that particular year. But I was thinking even I do have access to classic Doctor Who, so I might um, go through and maybe do classic Doctor Who, like show by show, um, Doctors 1 through 7, and take it from there. Maybe I'll get into the newer Doctor Who as well. It's really good too. It's not bad. Um, but anyways, that was fun. Stay scared out there, and whoo, have a nice day.